This is centre stage for Crick Buzz. Adam Collins and Harsha Bhogle. Australia have won the first ODI. Who would have possibly picked that? 34 runs was the final margin. They made 288 and were able to defend it relatively easily in the end. There was a big fourth wicket partnership after India lost 3 for 4 at the start of their chase, but Rohit Sharma made a valiant century trying to get them up to where they needed to be. But Harsha, we certainly didn't expect to say Australia would be one up, not with this inexperienced side.
No, it was world number 2 versus world number 6, wasn't it? We said India have got a side that pretty much knows who's going to bat where. Australia still feeling their way around the batting order. I still think Australia were 20 short. Usman Khwaja said 280 was a good score at the break, but I still think another 20 Australia might have managed those. If India had got a good start, India might have managed those as well. But it's a pattern that's forming now. The top 3 have made 60% of the runs in the last year and a half. If the top 3 don't get you runs, 4, 5, 6, 7 don't get you runs. That's the story of Indian batting at the moment. And I was hoping today, little part of me, saying if India have struggled at the start, let's see 4, 5, 6, 7 can win it. And I think we discovered 4, 5, 6, 7 are not yet winning you games. You could say they were rusty. Raidu hasn't played since the last ODI against the West Indies. He retired from first-class cricket. Dhoni hasn't played a game. Shikhar Dhawan hasn't played a game since the T20s here. So maybe that could be a factor. But there you are.
Yeah, there's some fascinating talking points that came out of both Australia's batting innings and India's. Let's start with India. Rohit Sharma, when I asked him after play, where should MS Dhoni bat? He said number 4. Harsha, that's quite a big development. I mean, given that Dhoni's been the perennial finisher, the Rohit wants to see his old teammate go up the order, so it may be not such a big deal if he occupies as many dot balls as he did tonight.
I don't know if he can always occupy as many dot balls as he did today. Yeah, sure. But at number 4, if he's in at number 4, he runs very well between wickets. Now at number 4, if he's batting with Kohli, then he's setting up that partnership with Kohli. He's running well between wickets. Then maybe he can sort of anchor the innings from 4, get 5, 6 and 7 to bat freely around him. Because today Dhoni is not the finisher. We have to understand that Dhoni is 37 years old. Dhoni has been one of the greatest limited overs cricketers India's ever had. In the eyes of some, the greatest. But because he got those runs at 6 and 7. But he cannot now finish a game like he could. And so we've been saying on Crick Buzz Live all these days with Ajay and with Zach, number 4 is, I think, where he should be going ahead.
And if he does bat at number 4, he'll have to find a way to turn the strike over with a fraction more ease than he did tonight, albeit with extraneous. The variable tonight there when he walked in is that India did lose those 3 wickets in the first 4 overs. Jai Richardson, absolutely magnificent, the young West Australian. Likewise, Jason Behrendorff on debut. Rohit joined MS Dhoni for that big stand for the 4th wicket. But let's talk about the Australian bowlers. Jai Richardson bowls at more than 150 clicks, really moves it through, picked up Virat early. He's a player of real promise. He could get a World Cup start the way he's going.
I saw him bowl 1 over in the Big Bash and I said, oops, this kid can bowl. And I was told today that he idolizes Dale Steyn. And you can see why. He's not the tallest. I mean, I saw him walk alongside Jason Behrendorff and Billy Stanlake today, and I thought he could have just slipped under. But I was very impressed with the way he bowled. He was getting the ball to move. Now, white ball doesn't move that much, so he got it to move a little bit early on. But I thought he was excellent. So was Behrendorff. There's a lot of talk about how Australian cricket's struggling. There's 2 fields in Australian cricket. There's a field where you're trying to plant batsmen. That field is looking a bit barren. There's another field alongside it where you're trying to plant fast bowlers, and that is fertile, it's flowering, it's bearing fruit. Look who didn't play for Australia in this game. Cummins didn't play, Stark didn't play, Hazelwood didn't play, Coulter-Nile didn't play, Ty didn't play, Stanlake didn't play. You'd have thought those 6 would be in contention for World Cup spots, and yet they found 3 bowlers. 2. I think Siddle, I'll still hold back a little bit on Siddle, but you still found 2 bowlers capable of winning you a game.
Siddle and Nathan Lyon, the 2 test players with the ball, did do a job though. The whole idea today for Australia was bringing back some of that experience from the red ball long form game. Sean Marsh, Usman Khawaja and Peter Hanscom, the engine room of that side. You mentioned off the top that they batted perhaps a fraction too slowly in that period of time, left their run a bit too late. That was sort of epitomised by the fact that in the last over it was Marcus Stoinis and Glenn Maxwell, the 2 biggest hitters in the side. In the case of Maxwell, only facing 5 balls.
True. I see Australia's World Cup team as being Finch and Warner, Sean Marsh, Steve Smith, and I see Peter Hanscom slotting in very easily there because he seems to have limitations in the Test match game, but he flowered today. And then you got to figure out how to fit in Alex Carey, Marcus Stoinis and Glenn Maxwell. But yes, I thought at the start that Australia were a little conservative, a little unsure of where they stood. Only 2 wins in 13 games going into this, and so they were a little conservative at the start. With confidence, I see them going. I see them going further ahead. But yeah, a little conservative, and that meant that Maxwell was down. Brad Haddon made an interesting point about Maxwell. He said, "I'm not sure he's good in overs 40 to 50, but I think he's excellent in overs 30 to 40." So maybe Maxwell should bat earlier up and leave Stoinis to finish.
Yeah, especially when he's been considered the floater. He had a couple of opportunities to come in earlier today and he was overlooked. Watch this space on that. India's bowling. The spinners were brilliant, I thought. Kuldeep Yadav and Ravinder Jadeja. They could form a very useful partnership in the UK as well, especially with Hardik Pandya presumably back in the mix by then.
I was also very impressed with Mohammad Shami.
Yeah.
Shami and Umesh Yadav bowled beautifully in the 2015 World Cup in Australia. And I thought Shami bowled the Yorker. He was getting the ball to move around. I was a little disappointed with Khalil Ahmed. And I still think that spot is open. And I won't be surprised at all. Bhuvaneshwar needs a lot of cricket behind him. But he'll get better as he goes along. But Bhuvaneshwar, Bumrah and Shami, to me, at this stage, would be the three. But this was... If you ask me what I enjoyed the most, was Rohit Sharma today.
I was going to say, it's the one thing I've not asked you about. It's the bloke made 100 for India. Rohit Sharma, the other champion of this side alongside Virat Kohli, didn't play all of the test matches and today he showed, especially really taking the leadership in that partnership with Dhoni, the way he was able to take the long handle later. He's got a lot of tricks up his bag.
I think so too. Every Rohit Sharma innings is a treat to watch, always. And today, even though he didn't get a few off the centre of the bat, but still this century was very, very good to see. He'll turn round and say it didn't contribute to an India win, but he needed a little more support around him. He wasn't getting enough of the strike at one point, needed a little more support. But Rohit Sharma, when he bats, was fantastic. It was because Rohit Sharma was batting that even at that point when he needed 156 from 20 overs, you still thought you could win it. That is where India needed to take the step up and didn't. But it's very easy to say India didn't take the step up. It's just as true that Australia bowled very well in that period.
So the show moves to Adelaide. In 3 days from now, Australia are 1-0 up. We did not expect that. Crick Buzz, centre stage.
I must tell you something.
Here we go, Harsha. What have we got?
I just heard something. I've heard the temperature is going to be 41 in Adelaide. I hope the forecast is wrong. If it is 41, we will be sizzling.
I cannot wait. Should be a lot of fun. We'll talk to you then.